So, sorry about that. I forgot to go live. Welcome to the studio, guys. Model Man Frank here. How are you all today? Hope everything is going well for you all. And hope your weekend was going well. If you are following me, and you can follow me on Patreon. Patreon is someplace where I go to for posting anything that has to do with my aviation channel. It is free to join. You can even ask Trevor. Trevor is the one member that I have, and you can link directly to me, and we can talk through Patreon. Now, there are some things that are behind the paywall. I do ask for a small donation that you help the cause so I can do more on the channel and I can be more available and help you guys out. Today we're going to talk about a couple little hacks that I have that I do back and forth on my model airplanes. I'm going to shrink this down a little bit here. So I had a friend of mine that crashed his RV7 a couple of weeks ago, and it was an amazing flight. I wish I had gotten it on video. It was really hilarious. The plane actually flew down into a pit, and we all looked to say, one person said, "Whoa!" and then and we all looked, and we see the plane pop back up out. And he starts wibbling all over the place. All of a sudden, the plane starts making a funky noise, slams into the ground, flies up again, and then lands. And the plane broke. He broke the firewall. He broke some rudder parts, aileron issues, and things like that. But he's been putting the plane back together little by little. Something he tried doing was to glue the swivel joints, like the rudder and the elevator, on, and I made a suggestion. I said, there's a better way of doing that. Don't use glue, because the problem is the glue will actually come off and it gets stiff after a while. You want to use something else. And so they sell these little hinges online, and I used to buy them, and I started to realize this costs money. And there's got to be a different way that you can use instead of, you can see this little rivet. These are these little hinges that you buy online. You can buy them on Amazon or anything like that. Don't use these. Don't buy them. You can use something different. So when I'm working on my model airplanes and even anything foam related or anything like that, I use the skin of a can or a piece of plastic. All right. So what I do is I cut little strips, and this was actually made with aluminum can. Aluminum can. The thing with aluminum, a can has the inside of the cylinder has a plastic wrapping to protect the flavor of whatever it's holding, which would be soda or juice or whatever. Makes it flexible. If you take that plastic lining off, the can will eventually fall apart. So on this one, this is actually a Super Cub that I started building, and I realized that you can actually manipulate it. So if I want to show it with the things down, I can actually do it like this, or I can move it around. If you pull this apart, you can actually see I used a soda pop can. It was actually a Dr. Pepper can I used. I did this a long time ago. This one came with me when I moved my town, changed houses, and I've had this in my possession for a while. It's very easy to do. You're going to cut little strips. Each little strip, you can glue it in place with some super glue, and then what you do is you add little slits, and you just little by little work them into those slits, just like here. I'm going to show you. I made little slits on both sides, and you can see the tabs, and you just got to make sure you remember where their slits were, and you can actually feed everything in and it gets nice. And then you can, if you want to, you can add glue to it, and it won't affect the hinge. If you do that with this, it won't flex. But if with aluminum can, you can add glue and it will flex still. You can even use plastic. If you look at egg cartons nowadays, they come in plastic or foam. You don't want the foam ones, you want the plastic ones. So, you know, any of you guys are out there and you're out buying eggs, go ahead and spend a little extra money and buy the egg carton that has plastic in it. That plastic comes in a lot. It comes in very handy later on in life. You can use it for so many different things. You can use it as a greenhouse. If you're into growing vegetables like I am, I grow jalapenos and things like that, and peppers. My whole garden is full of peppers. This winter, I'm probably going to try and grow different things. Not only peppers. I mean, I do like the peppers. I make hot sauce really good and everything like that. My family loves to eat it. But model airplane wise, it's really good on model airplanes. You can use it to make windshields. You can use it to make hinges for control surfaces. Voila! This is the control surface for the puss moth. This is the aileron. And as you can see, I have these little tabs. And I made the tabs for it. So, oops. You just got to make sure you have it on the right way. You just put a piece of glue on there. There's no hinge, no nothing. Slide it in place. You can also put glue in there and you won't lose this. But you'll have this flexibility, which I do now. See? You can also use it on styrofoam. The thing with styrofoam, you got to make sure you make the slice with your X-Acto knife. Once you make the slice with your X-Acto knife, you're able to slide the plastic in. As a matter of fact, a lot of the old RC kits came with these type of hinges, which are super all over the place. I tried using these and they're just, I can't use them. They're just too flexible. So, on these aircraft here, the model airplanes that I have, they have the hinges. But on all future builds that I'm doing, I have another plane that I'm building now is a PT-40, the old trainer, the old balsa wood trainer. Somebody was giving it away at the club, and I decided to start building it. I have it over here. I'll be building that over time. You can use the plastic. What you're going to do is you take your plastic. You're going to want to make it straight. So you're just going to make a little square, like so. And then you're going to cut a little strip. And then what you're going to do is you'll add it to whatever you're going to make. See how flexible this is? This is just really, really flexible. Put it up here next to the camera. Now, yeah, this one's curved, but once it goes inside your piece of your airplane or whatever thing that, it'll get flexible. It'll get rigid. And it won't be as curved like that. Once you put it in, you'll be able to manipulate it, and then you'll glue this in place, and then you put your control horn on there, and you can, your push rods and everything like that, hooked it up to your servo, and you have control surfaces. That's one hack that I use. I also use bottles and things like that. I do save a lot of plastic here in this house. When my wife is like throwing something out or anything like that. Also, really important, if you're into building your own plane, okay, and you've gone to AutoZone, you've downloaded the plans, and you've got it all printed out. Got one here. I can show you. Here we go. Not that one. So, I got a lot of model airplane plans, and over time, I have downloaded them off outerzone.uk.com, or I'm sorry, outerzone.uk.com. And listen, you know what? For Outer Zone, I'll put a link in the description box below. You can follow over there. You can type in whatever plane you want to build, and you can download the plans. You'll download the plans onto your computer, and then you'll use a little zip drive like this, or a little USB drive. You'll download your plans, and you can actually fit a lot of plans on this. I've got one that this has all the plans that I have. And then you can find anybody online to print it out for you. You can go to Kinko's, you can go to Staples, you can go to Office Depot. Office Max doesn't exist anymore, I don't think, at least. And you can have them print out the plans for you. Tell them, how big you want it, and they'll print it out any size you want. You want to make a little airplane, you can take a big airplane and make it into a small airplane, or you can make a big super scale aircraft. And then you're going to be like, okay, preferably you want to find a set of plans that has the parts that you can cut out. Now, you're not going to want to take it off your plans. If you look at these plans, this is for the Japanese Zero. I'm rebuilding this aircraft. I'll be putting out a rebuild video. But here's the plans, okay? So, you'll be rebuilding it. And thing is you crash the plane and you're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to make a new part? But you've got the plans. So what you're going to do is these plans for like the fuselage parts and everything like that, you can actually what I do, let me get to that location. So these plans here, what I usually do is I get tracing paper and I trace out the part onto a piece of tracing paper. Then I glue it onto cardstock, which was the old manila folder. Somebody throwing out manila folders, don't throw them out. Keep them. Use them. Saves you money. I trace them out. I got the firewall here. It's a firewall for the Japanese Zero. I did it, and it fits right over this piece. So guess what? Now I can rebuild my airplane. Now, I still had the firewall from the Japanese Zero, so I can still use it. But in case something is to happen to the firewall, I can always make another one. Just get yourself some plywood from Home Depot. You get yourself like a 4x4 sheet. I'm sorry, a 2x2 sheet. This will last you a lifetime. I bought an 8x4 foot section of door skin ply. I still have tons of it left. I bought it like 3 years ago, and I'm still using it. So you're going to trace out your component on tracing paper. Tracing paper is very easy to buy. You can go to Michael's, you can go to Hobby Lobby, go to any craft store and buy tracing paper. You're going to trace out your part, okay? Then you're going to glue it to the cardstock. You're going to cut it out and glue it onto the cardstock, and then you can cut out your components. Anytime you crash the plane or you damage the aircraft, you'll always have parts to rebuild your plane. You can build it as many times as you want. If you want to build it out of foam board, you can use plywood you bought at Home Depot. Make the parts. Balsa wood's gotten pretty expensive, guys. We have other ways of making airplanes. We don't have to always use balsa wood because it's gotten expensive. Why has it gotten expensive? Because those people in that faraway land have decided to use it for windmills. But that's a conversation for another time. So, plans, tracing paper, cardstock, you can rebuild an airplane. The other hack that I use when building my planes, I keep my manila folders and I keep my plans. I don't throw them away. Don't throw your plans away. Something happens to the plane, you want to rebuild it. So I got a filing cabinet. A big old filing cabinet right here. It's got some of my plans in it. That way I can rebuild. Heck, if I want to build other bodies of the plane, I've got the ways and means to do so. So that's one way to do it. Also, these here, you can buy them on Amazon, pretty inexpensive. Again, go to Outer Zone, you can get whatever plans. Another person you want to do is if you want to use foam board, there's foam board. You can use your planes to build out a foam board. There's a guy online, I don't know if everybody knows, but I'm going to put a link to his page, and he has plans online for free. You can download them, you can print them out on your copier, and make your own aircraft off them. Same way as Flight Test, but this guy is in Indonesia. I think he's in Indonesia, and he's got a lot of cool plans. He's even got one for a 747. You should see the thing. It's huge. A lot of foam board he uses for it. Yes, it's for foam board airplanes, but again, he uses household materials, so you save money. The only thing you're going to actually end up spending money on is, of course, your electronics, your motors. You know, this motor here. This is a pretty good motor. This is a D-Power series from flashhobbies.com. This is actually, I bought this on Amazon. This motor here is about $20-$30, and it comes with all your hookups and everything like that, and you can hook it up and make an airplane out of it. A lot of the old kits that require large format motors, like the 60s and things like that, if anybody at your club is getting rid of an airplane, you want to say, hey, listen, I'll take it. You know, I'll turn it into an electric plane. You can do that. If you go online to, there's somebody has a conversion table to take your motor and, like, let's say it's a 60, Enya 60, or an Enya, or a .140 motor. You can use the conversion tab and transition it to what kV motor you would use. So a 140, I've got it here. What I'll try and do is try and find out where it is actually located, and I'll put a description in the box below, or I'll fill you in on, or if you go actually on RC Modelers forum, you can find that tab. Just type it in, somebody's got to have it. But like, let's say a .90 IC engine. The conversion for that into motor equivalent would be a 500 kV motor. And then you, for a 500 kV, you get an 80 ESC, and you'd be able to play a plane that would actually fly off that with batteries and everything like that. So that is what you're going to use in terms of those aspects when it comes to those. Also, you know, the old spinners, you can still use the old spinners. You just have to be careful what spinner you're going to use, and so on. You know, I had somebody who asked me a while back is that my videos have the planes, when I make videos of my RC planes and I'm flying them, the plane's really small in the video. I do apologize for that. I'm my own cameraman when I'm outside flying. When I'm at the field, I fly and I'm my own cameraman. Good evening, Norm. How you doing? I appreciate you coming on. I'm my own cameraman. I do everything on my own. I videotape myself. You know, my wife sometimes will come with me. She'll videotape me. She'll send me videos. Some of the planes you actually see of our friends of mine that are flying at the field, I'll videotape their aircraft and I'll send them the video. Sometimes you'll see them on my channel just so you can see what the differences are. Excuse me. The camera that I use, little GoPro. This one's a GoPro 5. And I've got this for a while. I've had this already 10 years. And it's worked out well for me. I mount it onto my hat. And if anybody watches Fat Guy Flies RC, I think he does the same thing sometimes when he's by himself. I don't know if he uses a hat one or it mounts to his head. But I use this. I plop it in here. And then I put it on my head like this. And I'm able to watch the plane wherever it goes. So that's how I do this is how I do my camera setups. If somebody comes with me, sometimes Greg at Fat Guy Flies RC, his wife is with him and she's videotaping and all that sort of stuff. And they make it a day of it. But I'm doing it myself. I'm using the GoPro. And I do apologize if the videos are kind of small. I try and get the airplane as close as possible in some of the shots. But GoPro hasn't made a camera that actually zooms in on its object, which I wish they would. The technology is there. There are so much things you could do with a GoPro. I don't know why you can't make one that actually focuses, because if we're going to have it on our head, we might as well use it. But that's what I have this for today. I just wanted to show you guys some of the things I'm building. Oh, let me show you the wing that I just finished building here. So I've been working on some planes in the hangar here. You guys know this plane, this airplane wing, Norm. You know this one? I'm sure you do. This is a Mustang wing. So I got a Mustang over here that I started building foam board. And I built the wing same way I showed you guys just a moment ago. Downloaded the plans. I've had the plans actually in my possession for a very long time. I think those were the only plans I got. I actually got this plane, oh my gosh, it's been almost 34 years ago. Yeah. Wow. Had this plane since like 1990. And actually the plans since 1990. It's Precision Hobbies, Precision Models P-51 Mustang Dogfighter. And you can get these plans on OuterZone. You can go on there, you can download these plans, put them on a chip, go to your print shop and have them print out the plans, and you can build your own Mustang. This one here, I'm trying something new. The next one I'll build all balsa. This one is going to be balsa wing with a foam board fuselage. I have the foam board fuselage over my head here. I'll be making a little bit of a video so you guys can see that. This is the other wing that I just put together today. I just wanted to start building something else. I built another airplane. This one's pretty easy. It's pretty straightforward. It's a design. I'm setting it up for electric, and of course it has a setup here so you can put the one servo for the old ways that they used to do is you would set up one servo in the middle for your ailerons. Well, I'm not doing it. It's going to have separate servos for the ailerons. I like it that way, and I'll tie them together in a Y. So what I'm doing is I'm making it instead of the aileron so long, I'll just make it. I'm going to cut it like right in the middle here, and from here to here will be the aileron, and then it'll be a whole lot easier to control and manipulate. I don't know if I'll put flaps in it. I don't think I'll do. That's just way too much. But that's what's going on with this plane. This is a PT-40, I think it is. I'm not exactly sure. Don't quote me on that. I got the plans right there. I don't know exactly which plane it is. But I'll make a video of it so you guys can see more about what's going on. There's a lot more things going on in the shop here. As you can see behind me, the puss moth has been painted baby blue. I had a can of spray paint. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to buy red. So that means I have to paint the tail baby blue. Actually, the tail is going to be painted silver. I can get the silver somewhere. I went online and I found some guys that use Dapron, the stuff you use for laminating. Laminating Duracoat, Darlow. I'll put a link in the description box so you guys can follow it. I think I put it here. Docuform lamination. It's nice because once you heat it up, it sticks to the wood or whatever you're trying to laminate, and it does come out clear. Now you can spray paint it, which is really cool, and you can add, if you want to give it that old classic touch, you can add tissue paper to it, but it comes out nice and strong. What you do is you cut it to piece, and then you kind of like put it on your model, and then you can add the tissue paper to give it that old classic look with just some water. You can stick it right to it with water, which I think I'm going to try. The next aircraft, most likely, I'll try it out with that. The Bird of Time, if you guys had seen the video, Bird of Time, oh my goodness. So, it's got a flying tail. The whole tail moves. Actually got it right here. Let's see if I can pull it out here without knocking so much down. Oops. So this is my Bird of Time. And what I did here is I added some wood because there was too much of the wing. The tail was flying. If I try and hold it still, you'll actually see the tail wiggles a lot. So I added these stiffeners here. Well, that was a mistake. And it really increased the speed on the plane, but every time the tail would move, it would get stuck in the down position or the up position, and some filament actually came off. The plane actually, in one of the videos, I think it rotated, and it was upside down, flying like this for a while in the video. I realized it was doing that when I saw the top of the wing, which is cream color. The bottom of the wing is black, so that way I can tell the difference between top and bottom. So the plane was flying like this for a while, and I couldn't realize. I was trying to figure out what the heck is going on. As the plane came down closer and started sinking, I was like, oh my gosh, and you kind of like hear me freaking out because I don't know if I'm going to crash the plane. So I was able to right the aircraft back over like so and land the plane safely and bring it back home. I am actually going to most likely, and I've already started thinking in my head, I'm going to make this a two-piece. I'm not going to make it the flying rudder. It's just too flimsy. So I'm going to bring this rudder down here, and I'm going to break it into two pieces so I can just make one portion of it up and down. Still same airplane, still the same principle. It's just there'll be a different control characteristics. Different control characteristics on this plane. That's what's going on with the Bird of Time. Let me get her up here, put her away. So, that's all I have for today. Next week, Norm, you're going to like this. We are going to talk about something. We're going to talk about aviation. I have decided that I'm going to we'll do a little bit of anything aviation. I put out if anybody has gone to my post recently, I put out a questionnaire to ask you guys, do you guys like the hacks that I put out, model airplane videos, or do you guys like anything talk about aviation? Many of you said anything aviation, so guess what? It's going to be everything aviation. So next week we're going to do history. The week after we'll do something else. But next week we're going to do a little bit of history. We're going to talk about the Curtiss Condor. Curtiss Condor was a revolutionary passenger aircraft. And I talked about it on videos, but we haven't really delved into the airplane itself. And I'm going to actually delve a little bit further. I have some videos. Actually, I have some photos of the aircraft. And there is plans on Outer Zone. You can build a Curtiss Condor. And there's plastic kits out there that you can build this aircraft. Curtiss built 2 of these planes. They built 2 different types. There's Curtiss and there's the Stinson. So there's 2 different aircraft. But they were both kind of semi-biplanes. And they were the very first airliners, along with the Ford Trimotor. But we're going to talk, this time we're going to just talk about the Curtiss aircraft and talk about the different ones they made, motor size, and what the configuration inside the plane was. It had a semi-round fuselage. We're going to talk all about that. And that will be on next week's program. And then the week after that, we'll talk a little bit about what's going on in the shop. And then the week after that, we will talk about another different aircraft, which I am working on. We're going to talk, most likely, I hope to be able to talk about it, is the A-26 Invader, which I think is an awesome plane. Used in 3 different wars. Okay, we're gonna talk about that aircraft. It's been used in many different wars. It's been used in 3 American wars, and it's also been used overseas in some certain conflicts. And it was the only aircraft that was actually used like that. Though a lot of other aircraft were, but the A-26 is a unique plane. It's even a movie star. It has been in movies. So we will talk about the A-26 in 2 weeks. Not this week, the following week. And I will put out a teaser about it so you guys can see what we're going to talk about. So that's all I have for tonight. Program was a little short today because I just wanted to show you some of the hacks, some of the little things I'm working on here in the shop. Again, stay tuned. I'm going to show you some of the videos. I've also been working on the Storch. I finally got it put back together. I'm going to show you a video on that. And I just have one little problem with it where the flaps are just not operating. I put a safe receiver in and I've got a programmer to do the forward programming, and that's a whole bunch of things that I have to do there. But I hope to be able to show you guys on that. And you've seen my F-86 videos. I got the F-86 flying. But we will talk about the Curtiss Condor, and that's a plane that someday I would like to build. Not right now. I've got too many other things going on my plate. But Curtiss Condor, yes, we are going to talk about the Curtiss Condor. I got some stuff that we can show, and some photos I can show you, and the types of engines they had, what the plane was used for, was it used by the military, and so on and so forth. And then the week after that, we will talk shop talk, and then the week after that, we will talk about the A-26, or better known as the Invader. So that is it for tonight. Thank you, Norman, for joining us. Sorry you caught us a little late. And if you're watching this on playback, and you're a first-time subscribers, please hit that thumbs up button. Even return subscribers, hit the thumbs up button. Also, share the video. Share it with your friends. And remember, every Sunday night at 7:30 p.m., 4:30 Pacific, we're right here live for Shop Talk. And if you want to read more about some of the things that I like in terms of aviation, and you're not onto Facebook, and you're not onto Twitter or X or Gab or all the social media stuff, and you just want to be following me just on what I am into at one point, I am going to be posting more of what goes on in the shop and history stuff on Patreon. Some stuff is behind the paywall. but most of my stuff is going to be free for a little while as we grow that page, and then eventually I'll maybe make it behind more behind the paywall as we can. It helps me out here, guys. I really appreciate it. Trevor, thank you very much for becoming one of my first subscriber on there, and I hope to see most of you guys get over there. Again, joining this is free, and you guys can talk to me, and we can also talk about airplanes and things like that. And again, thank you very much for watching, guys. Thank you very much to all your subscribers. I really appreciate you, all my new subscribers, for subscribing. Really, thanks for coming on to the channel. Again, hit the thumbs up button so you'll be warned, and it'll tell you when a new video comes out. Okay? Guys, thanks for watching tonight. You guys have a great weekend. The rest of your weekend, if you're today and tomorrow is your weekend, have a great rest of the weekend. Have a great week, and we'll see you next Sunday. Have a good night, guys.